Hey lovelies, we should be live now. Welcome to the channel from yet another long break. It was a terrible week and a half, to be honest, and that's why I was not around. For those of you who may wonder, why there was another weekly skipped, why there was no live streams the past week. It was a terrible week. Hopefully that is over now, whatever I went through. I don't need to burden your mind with such a thing. But it seems that things are okay now with me and with my health, so we can carry on with the content here on the channel. And today, as you can see, the live stream is all about, guys, love advice, love guidance, and what we should need to know about our love life. Into the immediate future, so to speak. And I'm looking forward to it. Now let me explain you how the whole thing is going to go through. I'm going to do a reading for each star sign, starting Aries, ending up with Pisces. Hello Sadie, welcome to the stream. And after every 4 star signs, I'm going to make a break, and in those breaks, one of you is going to get a free reading from me, which is going to be conducted here publicly on the channel. And all that you gotta do to get a free reading with me is to stay up to one of these breaks, and when I do announce it, just input your question into the comments, and I'm going to make a professional reading on that question. Another thing is that anyone who supports me through super chat, supports what I do, is going to get their reading at the end of the live stream regardless. And one more special thing, guys, it is that up until the end of February, any one of you who does a purchase the server's answer to a question gets a 2 answers, or rather like answer to a 2 questions instead. And that's gonna do it for the intro. Now, starting up, I'm gonna use the Thoth Tarot here, the Millennium Thoth. It's really gorgeous deck. Just give me a second to keep up with the vitals of the live stream. Hello Jay, welcome to the stream. So Millennium Thoth, and this is going to be as well an elemental dignity reading, meaning that there is going to be clashes in between the elements of the cards. That is how I'm going to conduct the message, or rather like convey the message of them. As the elemental dignity is the best technique of reading, so you can get a wisdom from the cards, so you can get a guidance from the cards instead of a predictive tarot. So with that said, let me do the refill, and starting up Aries. Hey Joe, welcome to the stream. All right, so for Aries, the main card for you guys is going to be the Page of Cups, catalyzed from one side with the Ace of Pentacles, and from the other side is going to be the Lovers. Okay, and contrary to the common expectations, people would get excited when they see the Lovers card, right? Especially when it comes to a love reading, but it is not a good card when it comes to that elemental dignity. Now, this card, it is a neutral and an enemy. Okay, so the real deal that you do have, Aries, it is in between these 2 cards, the Page of Cups. That's the page, right? Yeah, the Page of Cups, and the Ace of Pentacles. Hello MT, welcome to the stream, and Victoria, good evening. So these 2 cards are showing that person, the Page of Cups, First of all, by its own accord, you need to know that there is somebody who is emotionally invested in you. Now that is the immediate guidance, and most likely now that person is waiting for a kind of like specific and, if you will, a rare opportunity for them to make a move. Now, unfortunately, like I said, the Lover's card, it is not ideal at that point, because that person himself does not see an opening. What I mean, it is that, and I don't know how to explain, guys. You know, when, for example, you're invited somebody somewhere, say to go on a coffee with a person you're so much into, and you are thinking about that meeting, that date for about 2 days, and you are imagining, you are planning, you know, how you are to approach the guy or the girl, how you are to express your feelings. And so you do have all these plans, and you do go there on a date, and nothing fits with your plans. Well, that is the story of this person. That is the story of the Page of Cups. They are determined to approach you in one way or another, and when the time comes, it kind of like nothing fits with their plans, and so they just can't exactly do it, okay? So that is the immediate guidance for you, and it means that you should be more vigilant when it comes to such kind of an individual, that it is always on the peripheral, but they always have a, how can I put it into words, they always pay attention to you. It's kind of like these are a quiet people. And make no mistake, I mean, when it comes to love, they will make a solid change in your life when it comes to love. Now, especially if you are single, that's the type of person you are waiting for, is because their devotion, it's beyond anything you can imagine. I don't know what you can do to pretty much push them and drive them away, and that is because they have spent enough time with a failure of relationships and around you as well to determine that they can pretty much live with you despite your differences that you do have to their expectations. MT, thank you so much for your 10 US dollars support. Thank you so much, MT. Make sure that you do stick around up until the end, and there you are gonna get your personalized love guidance, immediate, that is. Okay, so just give me a second to input you into the list. All right, there you go. All right, so that was, and Melissa, welcome to the stream. So that was for Aries. Pretty exciting, guys. If you are single, rest assured, and you are wondering, is there somebody around, without a single doubt, all right? Just without a single doubt. Moving next, we do have Taurus. Let me shuffle first. All right, so Taurus, a first card for you, that is going to be the Four of Pentacles, catalyzed from one side with the Four of Cups. That is the Four of Cups, right? Yeah, with the Four of Cups. And the final one, oh my God, that is going to be the Prince of Cups, okay? So that is the Knight of Cups. And for Taurus, the message is very strong when it comes to love and the guidance. It is because into the next few days, maybe a week or a couple of weeks, that is, it's very important that you do make your moves that are going to ensure your future when it comes to love. And this is what I mean. Say you are in love with somebody, but things are not exactly cooked up in between you two, okay? There are still certain doubts. Is that person into you? You know, can things work out, and so on and so forth. So to kind of like extinguish these doubts, you gotta make your move. I mean, right there, right now. And your moves, pretty much whatever your move is, whether it's a phone call, chat, email, or just asking them out on a date, so on and so forth, it's pretty much is going to consolidate your position out there. The cards are very favorable to establish a long-term enterprise when it comes to love, Taurus, but you gotta make the effort for it. It's not gonna happen on its own accord, and that is pretty much the the immediate guidance for you. Another thing it is that this enterprise that you can establish in a long run, or for a long run, that is, it more or less is going to be reciprocal to your expectations, okay? And to it's a very strong word, or rather, like, it's a very strong criteria here to be said, but it very well may fit with, how can I put it, into your dreams. Okay, so I'm gonna say it that way. It very well may fit with your dreams. Whatever dreams you do have about relationship, it's there you go. And you gotta make your move for a couple of reasons. First, we do have these two cards. These are a passive friends, and they kind of like talk about, let me show you the cards here. Okay, so these two cards, and they talk about how you may be in a comfortable position right now, not making moves. Maybe you do have certain leverage, okay, that may be true, but they also speak that this position is not gonna change in any way should you do not kind of like make something that goes, or that fits, no, I don't know how to put it, that goes beyond your zone of comfort. So you kind of like, you need to place yourself outside of your zone of comfort. And if it isn't comfortable for you to say I like you, well, that's what you gotta do. If it isn't comfortable for you to call somebody first, well, that's exactly what you gotta do. And the second card that we do have, which is the Knights of Cups, I'm sorry, with the Four of Pentacles, kind of speaks that whatever hopes and dreams you do have, first, they can happen, and second, they are going to be there to stay. It's just is going to be a long-lasting thing. But Knights of Cups does not rely on chances and on luck. Knights of Cups relies on their own personal efforts, and that is the second reason why you should do it, is because these cards are telling you that you gotta make an effort behind it. So you like somebody, it's that person can be yours, but you need to make an advances there. And for those who are already in love and they do have a fantastic relationship, well, guys, it's time to kind of like sprawl. It's time to think of a new activities that can make your relationship even more versatile. JL, thank you so much for your $10 support. Thank you so much, JL. Make sure you do stick around up until the end, and there you are gonna get your own personal love immediate guidance for the immediate future. All right, so that was for Taurus. Moving next, we do have Gemini. Or Gale rather than jail. It's Gale, isn't it? Oh my god, my pronunciation. All right, so Gemini, your first card is going to be the Strength, catalyzed from one side with the King of Swords, and from the other is going to be the Nine of Cups. It's jail, isn't it? Not jail, but Gale, isn't it? It's the second thing that I said. It's Gale. Right, in any case, those are the three cards for you, Gemini, and it is hello, Anna, welcome to the stream. And it's time to unleash the beasts, guys. Literally, it's time to unleash the beast. Now, the Strength card, it's a very, how can I put it into words, very polar card, and it means so many different things when you read it for career, for finances, but for love, it's literally you have to let your passion dictate your actions. If you are passionate about a person and you do have something in mind to do about that passion, and you are wondering, is that the right thing to do? It is, without a doubt. Now, we have those two cards, okay, which is not a good combo. Now, these are active enemies, and it does speaks that and I don't know how to put it into words, guys, so just give me a second here. Well, it basically talks about a lethargy, you know, uh, when you tame your emotions to such an extent that you don't want to do anything anymore. You don't care if you're gonna fall in love. You don't care if you are going to end up alone, or you don't care whom you may even end up with. And that is if you do decide not to follow your passion. Now for Gemini, this is a kind of like a very volatile situation. Should they be, for example, happily married, because their passion may lead them to somebody else. Now that's unfortunate, and in that particular case, the chance is very big, not for having an affair, not for having a mistress or a mister or whatever you call a male lover to a female married woman. It's if the woman it's mistress, then the male it's mister. I don't know, but it most likely could end up in a one-night stand. It's just that is going to be irresistible and insatiable pull that you may form in between each other. So be very careful. If you, for example, somebody that's you do see that they are a beautiful, very attractive, but you are happily married, don't don't agree to the dates, at least according to these cards, because you may find yourself having a very, very weak angels. And that is an expression in our country and pretty much means that you just can't resist the pull. Other than that, it's a good period. It's a good few days, but that's if you are single. Once again, very passionate. Should you be in an open relationship, you can expect a lot of sex. That is, these cards are very how can I put it into words, they are very explosive when it comes to sex. And if you are such kind of a person that you are up to things with no obligations whatsoever, and you prefer one night stands over having something long term, then you can score multiple of those in the next few days if you'd like to. All right, so that was for Gemini, and next one that will be not Taurus, Cancer. Right, so Cancer, your card, first one, that will be the Nine of Cups, catalyzed by the Magician. And the third card for you is going to be the Emperor. So these three cards, and it's very, this is more like a recommendation for you. These cards recommend rather than telling you what you exactly need to do, but their recommendation if you want to be more happier. And it isn't about finding love, unfortunately, but being more happier into your current liking or loving situation that you are in. It is to just lose the news a little bit. Don't take things too serious. Don't take things too personal. Don't take things too perfect either. The world is not gonna burn down on end up if you are late half an hour for a date, or if you can't make it, even if you do have another emergency. Now these cards are a very, very common, guys, for a situations where a man and a woman, right? And the man, for example, the man chased that woman for years, and finally she allowed him to have her, although have her, it's not a really good expression, to be together. Let's say finally she allowed him to be together with her, and he just doesn't want to disappoint her, so she tries to be as perfect as possible, and that kind of like puts a strain not just only to that person, to the man, but puts a strain on the relationship itself. And so that is the danger that you are facing here, that trying to be as perfect as possible to satisfy every need, not just only on your partner, but on your relationship, on your person of interest, is only making a strain on the relationship, because it becomes existing or existence, I'm sorry, rather than having fun and being emotionally fulfilled in it, and in generally not just only having fun, feeling happy, all right, into that relationship. It's a chore, and you will need to kind of like break that cycle, at least according to these cards. And another very important message here for you, Cancer, it is in between these two cards, and they just speaks that nobody is perfect. Literally nobody is perfect. You cannot find the perfect man or a woman, as nobody can find you perfect for them. There will be always pros and cons, but these two cards are also saying that if you are willing to make, you should be willing to make a compromise with these pros and cons. And if the person you are chasing or the person that you are with does not want to make a compromise with them, well, then they don't love you as much as they claim, are they? All right, so hey Lisa, well, thank you so much. Said, yeah, it's a good for Cancer. I mean, they just have to live, all right, instead of existing. Okay, so that's finalized the first 4 star sign, guys. It's a break, so you can ask a question, right? Like I said, in those breaks I'm going to make a one free reading, or rather, like, I'm going to gift one reading to one of you, and this reading is going to be performed here on the stream. So if you do want that free reading, just input your question into the comments, and after about 5 minutes I'm going to pick one question of you guys. If there are no questions at all, I'm just gonna move on with the next 4 star signs, which are going to be Leo, Virgo, Libra, and as well Scorpio. By the way, the weekly readings for the next week are already up, so if you have not watched yours, you don't want to miss it, definitely so go ahead and watch and see what is going to wait you, or what your experiences are going to be into the next weeks. By the way, Lisa, you can use the link and get the promo, okay? 10 minutes for just $2, but I cannot say anything more than that, okay? So that's you can use the link in the description of those videos, and you're gonna get 10 minutes of your choosing of an advisor for just $2, no matter what the price is. Other than that, with that link you get your first 10 minutes for $2. All right, so yeah, so yeah, you can go and watch those videos. Don't forget that if you do want to get the full picture, you should watch your sun, your moon sign, but as well your rising sign. And as well, anyone who supports the channel and me through Super Chat is going to get their reading at the end of the live stream, regardless of are they picked here into these free readings or not. And also my gift to you till the end of February is that if you do purchase a answer to a question service from my website, you do get an answer to 2 questions instead of 1. Okay, so that's a gift from me to you guys. And enough talking, and let's if you do have any questions that you want to ask me, go ahead, you can use the time to do so. Yeah, it is. Scorpio and Aquarius. By the way, Mattia, I love the Aquarius reading. I believe it is literally, you know, what is going on with me right now. I just can't believe it. And the beauty of it, okay, the beauty of it, because here in Bulgaria, I'm in association with 2 very good astrologers, but it's something local. We don't work worldwide. And it's literally, they are telling me the same thing about Scorpio and about Aquarius. So it's, I don't know what is going on, but it seems that we Scorpio are gonna get it in a good way very, very soon. Well, Pisces Moonbeam, I haven't noticed, okay? Because when I do, that's the thing, guys. when I do read cards, it's like I do have a dementia. It's just when I finish the reading, I literally don't remember a thing what I said. Some people might call it that I am in a trance, but I'm not. I am very cognitive while I'm doing the reading, but as soon as the reading finishes, well, maybe not as soon, but few minutes afterwards, I literally don't remember. Now, if you ask me what the reading was all about for, say, Gemini in the weekly readings, although I made them a couple of days ago, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I don't know even which cards I drew. I don't know even which what narrative it is there, okay? Maybe so, Pisces Moonbeam. All right, so Kim Beep, I'm gonna answer your question, although I'm going to now address Lisa and Sade questions as well. You guys are asking for intentions, and while that can be checked, okay, with a very high accuracy, the intentions kind of change, because today your interest may have on an intentions, say, to call you or to make a contact, but tomorrow something may happen and they may change their intentions. So I'm going to pick Kim's question here because it's more, so to speak, set in stone, okay? Hey, Gita, yeah, you can ask a question, but you have to wait for the next break, because right now I already picked a question for this break. I don't know, Mattia. I have no idea because I don't keep up connection with other readers. I don't want to taint, okay? I don't want to taint my take on tarot. I don't want to taint my way of reading. And when you do keep up with other readers, it is just you kind of like adopt things from them, and I do want to keep as original as possible. And when I say original, I don't mean it like special. I mean my thing. Okay, I just mean my thing. Whether people like it or not, that is up for them to decide. Maybe my original thing, it is not as good as many others, but it is my thing, and so I'm gonna keep up with it. Where your relationship is heading, Kim. So we do have the Chariots, followed by the Two of Wands. Moving next, we do have the Five of Wands, and a final one that is going to be the Four of Pentacles. It's kind of like holding by a thread, okay? It's I don't know how to put it into words. Imagine that you are in a desert that is full of quicksands around, but you do have these patches that you don't know about, but you kind of like have to guess and step on them so you can move through the landscape. Well, that is exactly what you are doing right here with this person. First of all, we do have these two cards, okay? The Chariot on the first position and the Two of Wands on the second, which speaks that you both kind of like interacted way too quickly. Things kind of developed a bit quicker than they should in between you two, which is okay if you are taking, like you said, step by step. But right now, if you do try to rapidly expand into that relationship, like for example start living together, or start making a big plans for the future, unfortunately everything is gonna crumble down because literally you are not ready yet. Now the right mindset, if you want to see that relationship to go as far as possible, is to have no expectations whatsoever at that point, because there are going to be a lot of surprises in the next, just give me a second here, and they're not going to be bad or good surprises. It's all about how you face them. And if you do have expectations, obviously these surprises are not going to be a good thing. But if you don't have any expectations, then these surprises can be transformed into something beautiful. Just give me a second here to give you a time frame. By the start of October. Okay, so that relationship is going to be unstable up until October, and at October though, things are going to take on a turn. We do have the Four of Pentacles for October, for the start of October, and there it seems that at that point you both are going to have enough of knowing each other, and most likely you are going to find yourself being ready to consolidate into a fully functional, boring, and very stable and secured, ensured a relationship. And yeah, boring because it's going to be a pattern. Okay, I'm not saying that you are going to be miserable, it's just going to be patterns. So the surprises are going to be up until that point, and from there no surprises whatsoever. It's just because you know each other very well. From there you can just move on and move on together and have a really happy life for as long as you have it, because as these are a minor arcanas, you can make it or break it at any given time, but for as long as you want to have it, you can have it as stable as you can have it, should you endure up until October this year. Taco, thank you so much for your 22 US dollar support. Thank you so much, Taco. Do you have any specific request, or you do want a personal love guidance for you, Taco? All right, so that was for the first break, and now I'm gonna move to the next 4 star signs, guys, which are going to be Leo, Virgo, Libra, and as well Scorpio afterwards. After that, there is going to be another break where you can ask a question, where you can ask your questions, and I'm going to pick one and I'm going to perform a professional reading like this one on that question. What's okay, Taco, so you do want to know it as an event, or you do want to know it as a setup? Well, what do you want to know? All right, fuck it. I'm gonna do both of these. Okay. So what's most important, event and setup? Just give me a second to write it down. There. Things are gonna work out. Yeah. Elaine, thank you so much for your 13.99 Canadian. Thank you so much. I don't read health, unfortunately. I don't read health, Taco. Me. Okay, Elaine, you are in the on the list, so make sure you do stick around up until the end, where you're gonna get your a personalized love advice from Tarot. And yeah, but you can't get it with me, unfortunately, Taco, because I do not read health. By the way, guys, I don't want to I don't want to sound biased, but I love the name Elaine. I don't know why. It's such a beautiful name. And I hate my own name. It's my own name. It's just, how can my parents kind of like name me that way? I hate my own name. In any case, we can't choose these things, can we? So, for Leo, the first card is going to be the Magician, followed by the second one here, which stands as the Five of Wands. And the last one for you guys, that is going to be the Knights, or the King of Swords, that is. In this deck, Knights are kings in the traditional deck. That's a tough one to interpret. Just give me a second here. I don't want to get it wrong, because there are a lot of things moving around with this reading. There are a lot of things that can happen. First of all, if you are single, okay, your advice is not to judge the book by its cover. I mean, you will have more than just one chance to interact with a suitor, to find a suitor, and in generally to get yourself dating. That is, should you decide to do so. But the guidance is that you need to follow two rules, okay? The person that you should involve yourself into needs to love and like you for who you are. Should they start making demands and conditions that you have to change in a certain way to be with them, then that's not your person at all, because according to these cards, these conditions, these demands are never going to stop. Today is you stop seeing a certain friend, tomorrow is going to be you stop playing video games, or the third day is going to be something different. It's just they will never gonna be happy and pleased. So you need to, according to these cards, Leo, you need to pass on such a people. And the other condition actually comes from these two cards. It's a very powerful combo, and it kind of speaks that once you do start interacting with somebody, they must be smart. Even smart is not the right word. Calculative, maybe. I don't know how to put it into words. Literally, they need to be equal to you, or as a presence, as a power. Otherwise, it's going to be, instead of a relationship, it's going to be a subjugation. And that's another thing that you don't want as well. Very important on a more primitive scale, it's very important that you do kind of like relate communicationally. I don't know how to put it into words, but it seems that in the next few days your communication is going to be spot on. And if you do want to express something, if you do want to negotiate something, you know, or if you do want to bargain, these are the days that you do so. So if you do want to finalize a divorce and you want to bargain for it, well, you ain't gonna find a better pretty much a better way or a better time to do so. And by the look of these cards, my god, you're gonna milk the poor guy for all he got. But in any case, guys, yeah, it's in the next few days, it's gonna be very important to say what you have in mind, because you will be able to say it in such a way that it just is gonna be undeniable, and everybody's gonna see reason behind it. And lastly, if you are experiencing some kind of a problems, okay, if you are experiencing some kind of setbacks with your love life, unfortunately with those cards, those setbacks are internal, which means that they are with either what you do or with yourself. In generally, you can fit that. That means that you can fix them, okay, and you can do so by, how can I put it into words? By not analyze. Well, all right. So we're gonna say it that way. So by analyzing yourself, your actions, people that you are interacting with, people that you are attracted to as well, and through that careful analysis, the way out of these difficulties is going to be presented to you by the universe, by yourself, that is. And that is for Leo. Ella, thank you so much for your 10 US dollars support, and as well Tracy, thank you so much for your 19.99 US dollars support. Thank you so much to both of you. Make sure you do stick around up until the end, and you both are gonna get your readings. I'm sorry to hear that, Ella, about you and Claudio. I thought that things are going great. He didn't left you, did he? My name is Badass. Oh my god. It is, actually, it is. But only if you know what it means. Yeah, but that is going to insult my parents and my grandma. I can't do that to my grandma, because I am named on my grandfather, who passed away kind of 10 or 15 years ago, and that name means everything to my grandmother. This is going to devastate her. I can't do that. Because the way you word it, Ella, will it improve? It kind of anticipates that there is something wrong with it. Yeah, it does have a meaning in my country, Lisa. Not exact meaning. So my name comes from a Bulgar, which is the ancient Bulgarian, or rather, like the Bulgars were those who came here, and kind of like they mixed up with the native Thracians and the Slavs, and the Bulgarians were born out of that. So the Bulgars, they were a Mongolic tribe, and they were basically a master of their art was the war. Okay, so they came here and pretty much they saved the Slavs and the Thracians from the Byzantians that was kind of like occupying these lands. And on the Bulgar language, Rat means war. Okay, and Radko is warrior or a knight, and it's kind of like for a better sound with ears as the language evolves, the T or the T is transformed into D. Although in Serbia, for example, the original name is kept, which is with T, Ratko, and it means warrior. Yeah, the Mongols. It means warrior. Back to the readings, though. We have Virgo, and your card, Virgo, the prime card for you, that is going to be the Sun card, and who is going to be happy here? Oh my God, with the Eight of Swords. And then we do have the Knight of Cups. Okay, so these two cards. That's total badass. Yeah, but only if you know what it means. I mean, nobody here knows what it means. I don't feel myself that way. I don't feel myself that way, but in any case, those three cards, and for Virgo, this is kind of like a warning here. Well, look at these two guys. Look at these two. Hold on a second. Just give me a moment here. Look at these two great cards, right? This is why it's so helpful to know the elemental dignities. This is why. Great cards, isn't it? I mean, you do have the Sun, and then you do have the Knights of Cups, and that definitely should mean that this person, it's kind of like making up with you, right? Well, kind of no. It's because we do have fire, we do have water. They don't go together. Obviously, we do have a active enemies, and that's person who is concerned with their own needs and with their own happiness, and it literally they are willing to feed lies in order to get that happiness fed up. Simple as that. So you Virgo, just give me a second here. You Virgo here are limited, or rather like restricted, so to speak. You do have a limitations, that those limitations have been inflicted by yourself by listening to this person. You don't have to be with that woman or with that guy, okay? It's just they are within your environment and whispering into your ears, or rather like or also it could be through certain gestures and so on and so forth. Bottom line, at that individual cannot be trusted, and they are kind of like ruining your good moments, and you will very easy spot that person. This is the guy or the woman that when you are happy, they kind of like suggest things that are undermining that happiness. You know, say you are with a friend of yours, and you kind of like meet that beautiful man that it's obvious that that man is into you, right? And your friend is telling, yeah, but how many women are into him as well, and do you know how many women he's talking to, and can you even keep up with such a man? I mean, he's a man to everyone, isn't it? Or to every woman. And that is pretty much the person that is feeding you with these undermining statements that are not allowing you to be happy with your marriage, to be happy with yourself, to be happy with whomever you face. This isn't a person that is, how can I put it into words? Most likely they does not have a romantic, how can I say, affiliation with you, but it's kind of like they are within your environment. And it's very important that in the next few days you do liberate yourself from that person, and that is the liberation that we do have over here. Just give me a second, okay? We do have this thing that is the liberation, where you do break off the chains, where you do bring down or eradicate these self-imposed limitations. And they are self-imposed because by that time you are listening to this person and taking their advice, and that advice, as soon as you do become happy, that advice is kind of like bounces you back into the neutral state at best. And you gotta stop that, okay? You just gotta stop that. You gotta say enough, it's enough, and you just have to move toward a natural expansion. If somebody likes you, you gotta go that way. It is because if you are single, that is, it is because if they like you, you like them. I mean, that's natural, isn't it? So you just move along with it. So yeah, here it's very important to understand that if people are not happy for your happiness, then they are not your people at all. Well, yeah, I mean, that's very common, especially in between women. I mean, that's thing. You do have, this is very common. When I was a kid, you do have that girl that every boy wants, but that girl has this really mean friend that it is ruining literally everything with everybody by giving her advices. It's ridiculous. Do you know how many potential relationship had been ruined for me that way? I just can't start counting. I'm sorry, I just can't start counting for it. But that's very, very common. Or it was common here. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand. All right, next one. So we do have a Libra. And your card, Libra, is going to be the Strength. Moving next, that will be the Five of Pentacles. And the next one, this is going to be the Queen of Swords. That's going to be a tough read. I mean, complicated read. But yeah, I know many relationships, or rather like a potential relationships, was ruined that way for me. Alright, so these cards, they do refer to these tipsy-whipsy, tiny, kind of like problems that you may be experiencing either into your current relationship or by expressing yourself, you know, toward the world, attracting love even. It refers mainly, this reading refers to those of you, Libra, who are you don't have much problem getting attention. It is just when it comes to the moment where the things should wrap up, it kind of like that much is not enough. All right, it kind of like you just can't get it done by a thread. And according to these cards here, okay, according to these cards, it's about a how can I put it into words? It's about that deficiency. It comes from a lifestyle of yours. It's just, there is no other way to say it, and it's a lifestyle of belief. According to these cards here, I mean, when you do want something, you have to reach out and take it. And if you do want to push something through, you gotta do it at whatever the cost, should you want it, that is. It's just, that is the guidance, that is the advice. You do want that man, well, you gotta chase the man. You do want that woman, well, you gotta chase the woman. You do want that man to propose you gotta chase them to do so, okay? You do want to buy a house for your children and for your family, well, you do need to chase that without giving up, no matter what. That is literally the guidance for you. Or if I have to translate it more spiritually, follow your passion no matter what. And if your passion is within this person, well, you gotta follow it no matter what, even if you are denied a time or a two or a three even. Other than that, on a more spiritual level, according to these cards, it seems that you are gonna do very good about your aggression. What I mean, it is that you will be able to kind of like make use of it. I don't know how to explain it really, Libra, but when, for example, you feel very aggressive toward a certain situation, you will make the most out of it. And it's instead of being a destructive emotion, instead of being a destructive drive, it's gonna prove itself to be a very, very constructive. And through that benign aggression, because you may think, guys, that you know, love is the most powerful force in this world. Or actually, love, I will tell you something. This is my take on love. Love is a beautiful thing. Okay, everybody fell in love at least once in their life. I did, okay, at least once in my life. And it was a beautiful thing, although mine wasn't shared, whatever. It was a beautiful thing. But the thing about love, it is that two things are certain in love. Two things. It ends, and it ends tragically. No matter, it ends tragically. Even if you live for your entire life with somebody, eventually one of you is gonna die, and that is tragedy, right? And it ends. So, and love makes you dependent. What the true power though is, that is anger. Anger gives you motivation, it gives you drive, it makes you tenacious, and it also makes you careful, and it makes you brave, and it just anger is so much more potent. The problem with anger, it is that if you do allow it to become rage, well, then you become careless. If you do allow it to become rage, you pretty much strive to destroy yourself. So you have to be very manageable when it comes to anger. And that is what we do have for you, Libra, that you will be able to manage your anger, you will be able to manage your chaos, so to speak, and place it at the right spot where it's going to be most productive. And that way, it seems that whatever problems you do have, barriers, so to speak, to express yourself, to approach the person you love, and so on and so forth, you will be able to overcome these problems. Yeah, Romeo and Juliet, right? That's the story, but still, just even if you do die together, one of you is gonna die earlier than the other. It's just that's to die together, it's kind of like you gotta kind of kill each other at the very same time. If you don't do that, one of you is going to die earlier than the other, and still is going to cause tragedy, isn't it? But hey, many people can, almost everyone is going to argue that the tragedy is kind of worth it, right? Even I do believe so. But it doesn't change the fact that it ends with tragedy every single time. I never heard of that song. All right, and next one, that is going to be Scorpio, so let's check it out, guys. First one, that is going to be the Lovers, followed by the Five of Swords, and then we do have the Ace of Cups. Naomi, no. Well, that's the thing, Naomi. I don't know why women think that men have to chase them, and why men think that women needs to be subjugated. This is such a wrong thinking. I mean, we live in a world that we are all equal, aren't we? You women have the same rights as we men, and we men has the same rights as you women. Therefore, we do have same responsibilities. So if you do want something, you have to get it, just like a man needs to get it too. So it's as simple as that. This is how I see it. And I don't fathom why, when a woman likes a man, she doesn't make a move. She just waits that man to like her, maybe for the rest of her life. I don't know. Elaine, yeah, but passion has a very big weakness, and that's interest. Because as soon as you do lose interest into something, therefore you are disappointed in it, your passion falls. And it falls big time. So while passion can be just as powerful as anger, it kind of like it needs that fuel, it needs that drive of interest. Scorpio, that's great. It's really good, guys. It's really good. So we do have those 3 cards, and yeah, it's love on a full steam ahead. It is for what it seems. The beauty of these cards, it is that we do have these active neutrals, which these are 2 lovely cards being neutral, which means that they both can happen simultaneously, independent from one another. And therefore, if one doesn't work out, the other is going to, okay? So what we're talking about here for Scorpio, well, it seems that love is knocking on our door and we need to embrace it. By embracing it, it means that we will need to make some kind of a cognitive decision here under the energy of the Lovers card. Now, guys, the Lovers, what do you mean do you have one? Blue code or blue cloud? So back to the Lovers. The Lovers, it's one of the worst cards to have when it comes to starting of a relationship. Why is that? Well, because with the Lovers card, the Lovers examines the differences, and it says that there is so many differences in between you two. It literally, in most cases, you even struggle to find a common topic to talk about. And this is the moment where you need to find, or rather, like the person that you are talking with or the person that you are interacting with should be interesting to you for what they are, not interesting to you because they are sharing the same things with you. For example, say that you are kind of like a normal person, okay, but the guy that you are interacting with, they love to kind of like examine stars, and they love to read about the universe and so on. They start talking to you about time dilation, but they are talking it to you in such a way that you just find it, you never thought that you are going to show interest into that thing, okay? So it's again, you have nothing in common, but in the same time these differences kind of are making you special to one another. And here is the cognitive decision that you are going to make, or that you will have to make, we will have to make, because I'm Scorpio as well. It is that are you going to run away, okay, just because you do not feel certain, because the person isn't like anything you ever fall for before, or you will allow it to happen? Now that is gonna make it extra hard. That is because we do have the Five of Swords, okay? And Five of Swords to the Lovers, it's not a great card. It kind of puts a sense of emergency, so to speak. The Five of Swords shows that with the Lovers card, we are going to be fully aware of when, how can I put it into words, when we interact with that person, whether it is somebody we know or somebody brand new, we will immediately know how far we can go with them, you know, how far we can pretty much enter into their personal life or not. And it all comes to that, are we okay with that? And our initial judgment, sorry about forgetting the word, is going to be correct. But like I said, there are two aspects. The beauty of it is that even if we don't like it at the start, we are going to learn to like it, and not because we ain't gonna have any other options available, but because our expectation is going to be wrong. So our judgment, how far we can go, okay, is going to be, one thing is going to be accurate. Say we understand that we are never gonna marry that person because they don't want to marry at all. For them, marriage is not important, and they don't care, they don't want to sign up a sheet of paper. For you, that is very important, right? And you say to yourself, oh my god, they don't want to marry, so I don't know how is this gonna work. I think that I'm gonna be miserable, but hey, I'm gonna try it out, and if it doesn't work, I'm gonna walk away. And you start living together, but you aren't married, but yet that relationship is way more productive than more marriages, than every single marriage that you know about around you. And this is your expectation. You expected that not being married for the person is going to be a bad thing, but actually it turns out to be a beautiful thing, okay? So that's why I said that you should not judge or I said it for another star sign, but here is also with a full force, you should not judge the book by its cover, especially when it comes to your expectations. And again, be open for these differences. Very, very important. These next few days, the differences are what makes you special for one another. And finally, as a very big advice, this is a ginormous, okay? Should you have a love interest that things are going on very, very well with them, especially if they are somebody brand new, say you go to sleep after this live stream, tomorrow you are in these dating apps, and you match with somebody, you start talking, and you're getting along very well together. You go out on a coffee because you are living close to each other and you are really into one another. Don't brag about it, guys, because with the Five of Swords being there are going to be jealous people. I mean, people are going to envy you big time. A friend of yours, for example, or somebody that just wants to be as happy as you are, and that envy, it may ruin the things for you. Hey, Articure, welcome to the stream. All right, so that was for the second 4 star signs, and now the second break takes place. As said before, in these breaks, one of you is going to get a free reading, and in order to participate into it, just input your question into the comments, and after about 5 minutes, I'm going to pick one question of yours, guys, and I'm going to read for you professionally here publicly on the live stream. Another thing is that for anyone who supports the channel through super chat is going to get their reading at the end of the live stream, regardless are they picked here or not. Another thing is that there is a gift for you guys from me, which is if you do purchase a answer to a question reading from my website, which you can find in the description down below, you are going to get answer to 2 questions instead of 1, and that's it. That offer is valid up until the end of this month. It is literally an offer for the month of March. And yeah, the weekly readings for the next week, February 28th up until March 6th, are now up on the channel, so you don't want to miss them. And you do want to watch your sun, moon, and as well rising sign, just so you can get the full picture of what the week is going to be about. So yeah, if you do have questions, input them into the comments. If you don't, in about 3.5 minutes, we are going to move to the last 4 star signs, which are going to be Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and as well Pisces at the end, last but not least. Elaine, anger is the most powerful drive. That is undeniable. The problem is, like I said, when it becomes rage, if you allow it to become rage, then you just don't, you don't think clearly when it becomes rage, and you can do really stupid things. While if you are just angry, you are very focused, your mind is sharp, and it is just, you are ready to deliver, whether it is a damage, whether it is a productivity, because people get kind of like get very angry when they want to do something productive, and that anger, it's kind of like a productively placed. I do not answer health questions, Articure. Tarot is not designed to read for health. Maybe Reiki, Reiki Master will be able to tell you that. But I am not into Reiki. I don't know If that's true or not, I'm just guessing here. Well, that also cannot be said, because your spiritual healing is something sacred, it's your own, and it's just something that you need to find yourself. Like, for example, if you don't have, say, a healthy social connections, then you need to heal that. Okay, you need to focus on that and heal it, because spiritual growth is also, the social connections are very, very important to spiritual growth as well. I mean, very important, because you just have to kind of like connect with the universe, and our souls are a part of universe, and it's very important that you do maintain a social connectivity, so to speak, for your spiritual growth and especially healing. That is just for example. So Victoria, what can I expect from my new business venture? Let's check it out. Okay, I will try to answer your question, Articure. I will try to answer your question after Victoria, but again, it's something that you need to find out about by yourself. So we do have the Hierophant with the Page of Cups. Afterwards, it is the 10 of Cups, and the last one is going to be the Empress. A good and a bad news, Victoria. The bad news, I'm going to start with the bad news, because I have been taught that you always have to end with a positive twist. So bad news is that this thing, that business venture of yours, is not going to develop nearly as fast as you would like it to. Okay, so you do expect kind of like results, right? Because it's a business venture. But here, the Page of Cups, it's on the second position, is speaking that there isn't going to be any noticeable change up until, hold on a second, the start of July this year. So up until that point, there may be a progress, but it's going to be rather slow. And how can I put it into words? Slow and steady progress. If you are expecting to make a living out of it, I don't know if that's going to be possible. I mean, it could be possible, but the money are not going to be as much as your expectations. How do I put it into words? Other than that, let's go back to the good news. It is that you're going to be very happy how the business is turning out, how the business venture is turning out. And it really, you are going to, how can I put it into words? You're going to be fulfilled with it, emotionally fulfilled with it. So the correct mindset for you, Victoria, it is that you should build up your name before you start making money. First, you gotta work for your name so your name can work for you, or you have to work for the business of the name, or for the name of the business, before that name of the business start making money for you. Now, at the start of July, at that point, things are going to be rather fairly established for what it seems. And there you will have now enough resources and enough ground to start making more a long-term plans in regards to the business itself and generally what direction that business is going to take place, because there is going to be more than one. Also, it may involve that you are going to have to make a decision whom to side with as well. That is very possible. But at that point, the matter is not going to be is the business going to grow, but rather like how the business is going to grow forward. So the business venture is great, it is not going to develop as fast as you would like it to. That's the issue. Oh, but I want to answer. Hold on a second. I want to challenge myself because these are a challenging questions. Okay, I want to answer. Hold on a second. And you will tell me how accurate that is. These are a very challenging questions to tarot. Well, Naomi, showing anger and acting on anger, these are two different things. Okay, you may be angry to somebody, but knowingly that, you know, for example, you may be angry to your inmate that they have broke something, okay, but instead of kind of like lashing out, you can use that anger to work hard and restore what was broken. There are two ways how you can use the anger. We do have the Ace of Pentacles for you, Articure, catalyzed by the 10 of Wands. And then we do have the King of Swords. Okay, so these three cards. Well, right off the top of these cards, you got to start working really hard on what I said. Connections, but they need to be harmonious connections, which means the people who are trying to be smarter than you see they are, people that are trying to always extract something from you and so on and so forth, these kind of people needs to go. Relationships that you need to work on, they need to be of giving and taking. It's a game, you give, you take, okay, and there needs to be an exchange. Second thing that you need to work on, it is your business or your job. These cards are pointing that when you focus on a successful business maneuvers, or rather like successful business enterprises, they don't need to be a monetary successful, okay? They have to be successful, like you need to make an accomplishment there. You are going to feel content, you are going to feel excited, you are going to feel fulfilled. And above everything else, by the look of these cards, you need to focus on, and I don't know how you're going to do that, by the way, but you have to focus on the fact that when opportunity arises for you to further your goals, whether these goals are in terms of career or whether these goals are in terms of relationships, you are stuck into overthinking it, analyzing it, and you miss your chances. So you gotta stop overthinking. You have to stop over analyzing stuff. Sometimes it is what it is, and you just have to act on it. Well, yeah, they don't go very well together. Anger and sadness. A couple of minutes, guys, and I'm gonna move to the last 4 star signs. Hello, Tatiana. I'm okay. My voice is still recovering, but other than that, it seems that I'm in a much better shape. You should have saw me last week. I was, oh my god, I was barely able to move at all. I don't know what was it. I actually know what was it, but I don't want to disclose it. But it's just, it was the worst time of my life. Well, I don't want to kind of like challenge faith, but it was really bad. You're welcome, Articure. I was. Yeah, I was. I was very, actually, very sick. That's why there was no weeklies, there was no live streams in the past couple of weeks, I believe. I don't know how much it was. I was barely able uh to kind of like catch up. Barely. Well, I am better now, or at least it seems. Well, Naomi, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. It never works out for me, okay? It never works out for me. I don't know what I am doing, but when I kind of like initiate a conversation with a woman that I like, it never works out. So I guess I'm saying stupid stuff, or it's just, I don't know. But welcome to the club. And on top, I am not a romantic person by a large margin. I'm always making a joke of it or making fun that I have gifted flower only one time in my life, so only once in my life, and it was on my teacher at first grade. And there, I knew what I was doing. Obviously, I was a toddler. So, but that was the only time. Yeah, well, no matter are they long term or a short term, they always end up tragically. At least for one of you. Thank you, Tracy. All right, let's check on Sagittarius now. Yeah, but same here. Same here, Naomi. Oh, that's the thing. I can't say I don't want to say I don't need it. I would like to say I can do without it. Okay, I can do without it. And I kind of like, and I don't know how you call it in English. So I'm gonna check the word. Okay, just hold on a second. I'm gonna check the word. Uh, kind of like it should be close to submit, but acquiescence. Oh my god, what is this? Acquiescence. I never heard that word, but yeah, I acquiesce with or I acquiesce. Oh my god, I can't say that. Acquiescence. I acquiesce with that state. Acquiescence. I like the word though. It's a cool word. Well, Elaine, everybody's telling me that, but alas, 5 years now, nobody. In any case, Aquarius, no Aquarius. Oh my God, it's a Sagittarius. So we do have the Queen of Swords, followed by the Wheel of Fortune, and the next one is going to be the Six of Pentacles. Those three cards. And for Aquarius, the message is pretty clear. In the next few days, guys, it's time for you to really push hard, okay, and literally challenge the circumstances. What I mean is that if, for example, just for example, somebody asks you out, but you have other circumstances already planned, but you really want to go out, well, challenge the circumstances and go out instead. So you just have to, how can I put it into words? Make your love life priority. That is literally what those cards are speaking up, because it does look like, according to these at least, that you have set your love life to be on the second gear, maybe unconsciously, but it is there, and you do need to fix it. It is just your love life is so low into the hierarchy of your life, or of your overall life, that if your love life is DOA, well, no surprise into it. Now, in the Six of Pentacles, you know that there is a merchant, which is a rich guy, and a beggar there in the card, and your love life is literally the beggar there. Okay, you just give him, how can I put it into words? You give him just a tiny pieces of your attention, and it is just, it can't grow. So for example, if you are kind of like, if you are struggling getting attention, but you are working 87 hours a week, well, no wonder that you don't have any attention coming your way. It's just, you don't have time to see it, you don't have time to appraise it, you don't have time to give attention as well, because that's what it's needed. So that being said, Sagittarius, it's really important here that if you do want love life, you gotta do something, not something about it, but you just have to clear out your schedule for it, because it's there, it's literally there. If you do start going out and how can I say, spending time among people, I guarantee you with these cards that you are gonna have more than one occasion to go out on a date or to talk with somebody interesting, that afterwards things can develop in between you two. So that is your guidance, that is your advice, very important here. Well, Alyssa, it's relationship works out when you get the most out of it, okay, and it's just, you do exit from it at the right time. That is when relationship works out, because these common relationships where one of the participants into it is constantly abused, whether physically or whether emotionally, it doesn't work out for them at all. Okay, it's just, this isn't working out for them, and you can't say that it is working the way it is supposed to work, because I don't know what kind of a god there is exist to make things to work out that way. It's just, it's unfathomable for me. All right, next one. So we do have Capricorn. Your first card is going to be the Nine of Cups. followed by or catalyzed by the 5 of Wands. And the next one is going to be the 3 of Swords. Wow, that's a big one here for you, Capricorn. It's a huge message that we do have. So those 3 cards. And you have to settle. It's as simple as that. This is very valid for those of you who have more than one option available. Okay, more than just one person out there to go out with, to date with, and so on and so forth. And these cards are that the next few days you just have to settle, because what we like to say here in my country is that you do have 2 chairs to sit on, and at the end you sit on the ground with no chair whatsoever. And that will the thing that prevents you mostly, it is the thoughts of loss. Okay, the thoughts of loss in a such a way that if you choose one over the other, whether it is a woman or whether it is a man, regardless, you are losing the one you haven't chose. But that is always going to be the case. You never can have everything. So it is best to have what makes you happy, and what makes you happy in the grand scheme of things, it is love, isn't it? So go for the one, or for the one, either a woman or either a man that you love more than the other. It's as simple as that, regardless of what kind of an obstacles you are facing, because there are going to be always obstacles. Nothing is ever perfect, right? And relationship has its own splinters into it for removing. But you can definitely do it. Another thing it is that in the next few days going to be very important to address the things that concern you, things that you don't, how can I put it into words, approve, so to speak. Say you are married and your wife is doing stuff that you don't like, but you don't know how to say it. Well, there is only one way to say it, and that's the straight way. So you just address your wife with that you don't like, for example, how she's cooking. You don't like, for example, that she's staying late at work. You don't like, for example, that she's talking 2.5 hours on the phone, and so on and so forth. So things you don't like are very important to speak about that, and that way you will regain back the fullness and joy of life as well, sensual that is, and as well happiness and exhilaration. Important thing is as well that you need to maintain that happiness, and you must stay predictable though, because sporadic actions, actions that don't make sense according to the situation, it's only gonna drive your love interests away. That's important. Don't make surprises. That's my point here. So that was for Capricorn. Moving next, we do have Aquarius. Oh my God, Tara. Your back is, oh my God. Oh, Jesus. I don't know, Tara. I cannot answer that. Taro is not designed to read health, but I really hope you kind of like you recover. I mean, that's serious thing. Can't believe what I'm reading. Oh my God. Aquarius, 6 of Swords. It's the first one for you. Catalyzed with the Hangman. And the next one is going to be the Lovers. Those 3, I'm sorry. So we do have those 3 cards. And your message is pretty simple. The time has come. It's literally what those cards are speaking. Depending on your situation, the time for different things. For example, the time has come for you to express your feelings. The time has come to you to make your break. The time has come to you to either make it or break it. Whatever the case, these cards are speaking, guys, that the time had come for you to make your choice, what you are going to do about your love life. The message is more, how can I put it into words, more concrete when it comes to people who does not have a love interest right now. They are completely single, and those cards are speaking that you will not gonna find your love interest around you. You just have to do something unstandard, something different. For example, if you do not believe in dating apps, well, those cards then in your case are speaking that you should sign up for one, and it's a matter of weeks that you are to find your next suitor. If you do not believe into going out in a, for example, in pubs or in discos like me, for example, oh, that's where you're gonna find your next suitor. So it's important here that you kind of like surprise yourself, so to speak. Do something that is going to surprise yourself above everything else to find a love interest. Should you be entirely single with no love interest whatsoever. But if you do have a love interest or you are in a relationship, then literally those cards are speaking that the time for you had come to make that move, which is going to bring you into the next level of that relationship, whether it is asking them out, or whether it is asking them to be with you, or whether it is asking them to marry you. Whatever it is, the time had come for you to set your plans into motion, and that is literally your message. And last but not least, we have Pisces. And your card, Pisces, that is going to be the Seven of Pentacles, followed by the Death card. And then we do have the Five of Cups. Those three cards. So, depending on what kind of a situation you are in, these cards carry on two types of message. If you recently are ending a relationship, then you gotta move on and kind of like accept that you will not gonna be with such kind of a person anymore, or at least not in the foreseeable future. So you have to settle for something different, or you need to be open for something different. If we're talking about the Aquarius cards, okay, and this doesn't mean something worse, okay, it means something different, and therefore you need to be open for such a thing. But let's get back to Pisces. So like we said, two types of message. Well, that's the thing. The Six of Swords, it doesn't guarantee things to be easy. You know, I read one time for Pisces Moonbeam, and I'm not gonna disclose what was about, but she asked me to use tarot to tell her what is the best way for her to do something, and I forgot what was that about, okay? And I told her according to the tarot, and she said, "Oh my god, I can never do that." Well, cards doesn't concern is it gonna be easy for you or not. They're just telling you what you gotta do if you want to accomplish the thing you crave for. Do you have what it takes or not, or are you willing to put the efforts behind it or not? Well, that's your choice. So you just have to kind of like, you are not confused, Naomi. You just have to change your mindset. That's not confusing. But these cards are saying that you just have to move on. But back to Pisces. So yeah, two types of message again. Either you are expecting way too much, or you are giving way too much. One of the two. So depending on what situation you are in, you have to carry on with one of these statements according to these cards. What is common for these things, it is that they both lead to a disappointment. Now, can the situation work out? Yes, it can, but you need to change your behavior. You either should stop giving as much as you are giving because you are taken for granted, or you need to start giving if you do want your expectations to be met. And that's literally the message. Other anything else than that, according to these cards, it pretty much strives you toward destroying that situation that you are in into your love life, whether it is about a love interest, or it is about the date, or it is about the marriage, or whatever it is. So you gotta kind of like put a brakes on what you are doing right now, put a stop onto it, and take a day or two to kind of like figure out how much you are invested into it, and are you not invested way too much into it, or you do demand a bigger investment from the other side than the investment you are doing. And very common example of it is, and we discussed that a few minutes ago, it is that women are always expecting men to always make the move. Well, if you have a love interest that they are always making the move and at some point they stop, well, don't wonder why they have stopped. It is because you can't expect them always to make the move. You gotta give something as well, right? So your expectations are way too high. How can I put it into words? If you do want a balanced relationship, you have to be equal to the other. So if they make a reach, or if they reach out to you today, you should reach out to them tomorrow. And vice versa as well. If you are, for example, the one who is always reaching out, that's also not okay at all. That means that you're giving way too much and you are taken for granted. And so that is, and if you fix that, then your situation can work out beautifully. So that was the guidance, and now the last break is taking place, which is also going to contain one free reading to one of you guys. To get that free reading, all you gotta do is just input a question into the comments down below. After about 5 minutes, I'm going to pick one of the questions, if there are any, and I'm going to perform a professional reading on that question. And after this is done, I'm going to move to the super chat readings as well. So anyone who supports the channel and supports the channel and the live stream and what I do through super chat is going to get their reading here regardless once I'm done with this last break. And as well, should you purchase the service answer to a question by the end of the month, you're going to get answer to 2 questions instead. So yeah, I'm waiting. But back to your topic here, Naomi. I'm waiting for a question, that is. Back to your topic. Yeah, I mean, if things are over, you just have to move on, because even if reconciliation happens, it cannot be the same. It literally can't, because if it is the same problem will occur, and the same reason for splitting up or for severance is going to be there. Even if the same person kind of like reconciles, you cannot hope that this relationship is going to be like you had it before. So yeah, it's unrealistic expectations, at least in my eyes. Hey KDK, welcome to the stream. Well, Naomi, that's another reason to move on. Just scrap it out. Okay, just scrap it out. That makes it much easier. And another thing it is that I cannot answer with a certain amount of accuracy because again, what your question implies is to make a decision for something. Because is he gonna look for you or not? It is his choice to make, not mine. Okay, and I can only check on his intentions, but his intentions are one thing, but what he is gonna do at the end, it's another. Yeah, Elaine, I'm gonna save it for the super chat because as a live stream on love, the relationship has a priority and we already have one. I'm just waiting to see. Yeah, it's the time is done. So, Tara, how will the future of my family looks like? Let's check it out. You have Death card, uh, Seven of Cups. And then we do have the Magician. Yeah, everybody talks about that, but two is the number of settling. Two is very inactive number for as much as I know of numerology. So I don't know why people were so excited about this number. Maybe a numerologist will be able to shed a light on it. So these are the three cards, and Tara, your family is going to undergo some kind of restructure. Mainly should, how can I say, relate to the children. Like, if you do have children or grandchildren that are on the age, they most likely are going to leave the family very soon, and their absence is going to be felt really deeply. Another thing about how the family is going to another thing that is going to happen here with these cards, it is that there are going to be things which are not going to be said. All right, there are going to be things, experiences from family members which are not going to be shared with the family itself. For the most part, the family should grow in a sense of, how can I put it into words, it should grow as a healthy family out there, but there will be that process which things are going to be let go of when it comes to family affairs, even family connections, if you will, things that simply are not working out. And at some point, this process of letting go, of relinquishing, unnecessary contact or unnecessary interactions within the family will bring certain disappointments to a family members as well. But these disappointments should be a short-lived. Bottom line here, how your family is going to move forward, how your question was worded, future of your family, it looks different, brighter but different than you may even anticipating right now. And also in a distant future, that is, some kind of a family dream is going to be seen fulfilled but I cannot say what exactly that family dream is going to be about. And even these changes that are going to start happening, which are going to be a bit uncomfortable changes, will have something to do with that family dream as well. So that is literally your reading. And now let me shuffle and attend to the super chat readings. All right. So, Mattia, your reading, your love guidance. We do have the Queen of Wands catalyzed with the Knight of Swords, and then we do have the Wheel of Fortune. If you are not romantically involved, that is because you don't want to, literally the message. Now, these cards are talking that in the next few days or maybe even weeks, you can not just only attract the right person, but you can also kind of like provoke the environment to find the right person, so to speak. It's very important, Mattia, to kind of like bet on your, I don't know how to put it into words, bet on your presence. What I mean, it is that put on your best clothes, do your best makeup, your best, how can I put into word, hairstyle as well, and start going out more among people when you're just gonna be attractive. I don't know how to put it into words, more attractive than usual, and it is just you are going to catch attention. And yeah, that way you may find a person to date with if that is what you want. Other than that, into your existing relationships, whether they are romantic or not, business, in the next few days and even few weeks, you are going to have that very sharp sense of the needs, the strengths, and the weaknesses of people. And that way you will be able to kind of like exploit that to your ends, if you'd like to, of course. It sucks to be sick, yeah. Well, Rich, everybody needs to kind of like get used with that thing, okay? And I will tell you the secret how you are not gonna feel lonely. Just find something you love to you love to do. When I feel lonely, I just start playing video games, and I don't feel lonely because I love playing video games. If you do love food, just go on a restaurant, or if you do love watching movies, go on a cinema, etc., etc., and you ain't gonna feel lonely. It's just you need to start doing things you love. You can't allow to dwell into these negative thoughts. Gail, your love guidance, it is the Ace of Pentacles with the Devil. And then we do have the Knight of Pentacles. I don't know if you are single, but if you are single, you are about to, how can I put it into words? You are about to become a victim of reconciliation, or a person from your past is going to come about and will try to make it work. But this time around, they're going to be way more into it, like way more devout to the idea to be with you. But should you be in an existing relationship, then these cards are guidance in a sense of that this relationship is gonna grow and is gonna thrive. And they also disclose a secret, whether it is a new forming relationship or an old one or a current one. You will have the upper hand. I mean, you are going to be the dominant side, at least for the foreseeable future. Use that information wisely. Yeah, well, single, well, an ex, or somebody who resembles an ex is going to show up very, very soon. Taco, what is the most important thing that you need to focus on? So we do have the High Priestess with the Chariot, and then is going to be the Ace of Swords. Your pride. You must focus on your pride. What I mean, it is that no matter how much you have accomplished in life, no matter how much, you know, how far you are with your life, you have to be proud about it, because that was the most you could accomplish with the given resources you had. Okay, so you did really good job into how can I put it into words, into being efficient out there. Another thing that you need to focus on, it is your senses. What I mean, it is that you will smell lies. Okay, you will, when somebody tells you something or when you see a situation that seems disingenuous, you will immediately sense it. Another thing is acknowledging it. So it's very important to listen to your senses. That is what you need to focus on. And another thing that you need to focus on here, it is in terms of a relationships, it is to take things slow, to take things easy, because otherwise you may jump into some kind of relationship endeavors which are a bit premature, and not everything is to be said in between the parties out there. And when it comes to event, what you should what is the most important right now as event, I'm going to use Lenormand cards here because they are these cards are predicting events. We do have those cards, and there will be a huge fight in between you and the woman, a fight about delays. Okay, a fight about plights, predicaments, delays. Most likely she will miss to contact you about something or to inform you about something, and that will provoke the fight, the drama, the dilemma. So that is something you need to focus on and to play it out accordingly. Next one is going to be Elaine, and you are about your strategy that you want to imply when it comes to a position at your work that you want to get it. We do have the Three of Swords with the Two of Swords, and the nine with the Two of Cups and the Nine of Cups. I think it's gonna backfire. Okay, that strategy is gonna backfire, not because you are not gonna get the place, but it is because you're not gonna get it the right way, and most likely you are gonna be hated by everybody. Okay, it's just, even if you get it, you would wish that you didn't have you didn't got it that way. I don't know what your strategy is, but it does look like that is going to alienate colleagues, is going to alienate alliances, is going to alienate everyone from you, and at the end you just won't be happy about getting the place the way that you are anticipating getting it, unfortunately. Ella, Claudio, your relationship with Claudio, is it going to improve? We do have the Page of Swords with the Strength card, and then it is the Four of Cups. Actually, what is going on right now, it may look bad, but it should work to your benefit or to the benefit of the relationship. We do have these three cards, okay? Uh, so what happens is that Claudio has a little bit of a different idea what relationship is, and in his mind, at least according to these cards, you are setting your work and your other arrangements and your other not responsibilities, but yeah, let's say arrangements above the relationship. And in his sight and in his eyes, the relationship should be more important than that. Okay, so that is the problem. The bad news, you can't convince him other way around. That's what he's believing in. That is how things are standing. I don't say that you should not pursue that idea, Elaine, but maybe you want to alter it in a certain way. Okay, you just need to alter it in a way that is not going to conflict with other people, or is not gonna cross other people. But back to Ella. So yeah, that's in his mind, and you can't. How can I put it into it? Convince him in other way around. But what you can do is compensate. When you meet up, you make it special. Needless to say, if you can compensate in bed, that will be great, because the Page of Swords in a relation with the Strength card, it's huge libido, right? It's the most, one of the most sexual combos that you can have, and these sexual combos are kind of like very unstandard. I wouldn't be surprised if that man wants to make all kinds of pose, you know, and how can I put it into words, scenes, scenarios when it comes to sex. And if you indulge him into it, he should be satisfied enough to kind of like look past the fact that you kind of have a life other than the relationship. And Tracy, your love guidance, we do have the Seven of Swords with the Lover's card, and then it is the Four of Wands. Those three cards. Well, Tracy, it's a pretty solid message for you. And those cards, I don't know, can you tell me, are you in a relationship or not? I need to know so I can interpret them correctly. I will wait for a couple of minutes for you to tell me. By the way, guys, in my country, for visitors, a vaccination certificate has revoked, meaning that if you are a visitor in a restaurant or in a bar, in a pub, in a cinema, in any kind of how can I put it into words, objects, you don't need it anymore. Effective. Oh no, it's effective from tomorrow. Not today, but tomorrow. So it seems that the pandemic, it's kind of like dragging to an end, or at least I'd like to think so. Could be. I don't know what kind of a strategy you do have, Elaine. Well, Tracy, yeah, that's conflicting. Maybe that's why I asked you about are you in a relationship or not. Well, that makes a lot of sense because with these two cards, you kind of need to make it clear, or you need to push it to make it clear, and that will happen through. I don't want to sound that way. That will happen through a, so to speak, a violent process. What I mean, it is that you just need to confront the person that you think you are in a relationship with, slam with your fistful on the table, figuratively spoken, and just demand for them to make up their mind. Are you together or are you not together? And that's the beauty of your message here, okay? That's the beauty of your message. It is that whatever the case, you will be okay with it. Even if you now may think that if they say, well, we should split up, okay, may sound devastating to you. As soon as they say it, you will feel that you kind of like have that huge burden being dropped off your chest. It's just right there. But it's but yeah, it's very important that you finally, how can I put it into words, you step up for yourself. It's that is your message. In the next few days, in few weeks, you need to show a strong backbone, you need to show a strong spine, you need to show that, how can I put it into words, that you have a right of righteousness, right? And that's you cannot be play around with, and that person needs to make up their mind. There shouldn't be any games anymore. Well, it's still going to be required for traveling and for entering the country, but within the country, it's going to be revoked in 24 hours, which is great. So yeah, that's the live stream. That was the live stream, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your super chat. Thank you for so much for sticking around and supporting me in any way you can. And we hopefully we're gonna see each other around. Hopefully I'm not going to be sick again, because it was really bothersome. It was awful. And yeah, again, you don't want to miss your weekly readings, which are already up on the channel. So if you haven't checked them, make sure you do go there and do so. And don't forget that you should check about your sun, moon, and as well rising sign as well. That's if you do purchase by the end of the month the service answer to a question, you are gonna get a answer to 2 questions instead of 1. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Thank you so much for being around. I said it a few times before, but I'm gonna say it again. I am happy in my life, and the reason for that is none other than you. And that's it. Bye.